Come on in. It's tea time. I'm so glad you're here. I needed a break. Been on the phone, been busy. But now it's 3 o'clock Eastern time. You know the time changes this weekend. So I've got my tea. I'm going to add another tea bag to it. This keeps my tea. I've got my spoon here. This holds 25 ounces. I'm going to add one more tea bag in here because it wasn't in. I can't reach it. I'm going to have to fall off my chair. This is our Wise Women's Tea. We'll have some decaf in a couple of months, but right now I need a dose of caffeine. Yep, I'm putting it in here. I'll put it in here with my little spoon. Oh, this smells so good. And I've been drinking this on into the night. I'll just make a big pot and I am good to go. Oh, wow. And I think I'm going to put a scoop of my vitamin C. Vitamin C is vitamin C. You can't hurt vitamin C. It's ascorbic acid. You cannot reduce its effectiveness in hot water. I promise you, you're not going to hurt it if you put it in something hot. So I'm going to put 1 scoop in there. And I'm going to put my lid back on. I'm going to pour me a cup of tea. Pour me a cup of tea. Yep. I have 2 of these little cups. One of them's this one's straight-sided, and the other one was huggable. So everybody, get in here. Yeah, it's tea time. And we're going to talk about slowing our brains down. But first, grab your cups. Oh, wow. This medicinal tea. It's just what the doctor ordered today. I've had this tea brewing for about an hour now. So it is lovely. I'm telling you, lovely. Looking out my window, I've got buttercups coming up and a hyacinth. I'm ready for springtime, y'all. And with the time changing, it'll be here before we know it. It really will. So y'all get on in here. We still hadn't got 200. Somehow, somewhere along the way, we got a notification, and I think it's spam because the links don't work on it. And you got to be careful with things that come in that say they're going to delete our Facebook page. I don't think they're going to do that because we're real particular about not using things that are copyrighted. We're very particular about that. And when we share things, it's because they want us to share things. So I don't know what's going on with all that, but I'm trying to get my hair ready. Anyway, there's Miss Laura. Get on in here. Oh, that's lovely. Tastes like I got lemon in my tea. I like that. I like lemon. I've got water boiling on the stove in my big old tea kettle. I have got setting my timer every 30 minutes and putting more water in it, keeping it going. It's making the air feel good in our home. You know, for most of my life, I have been one of these people that when it gets tough, I batten down the hatches and do what has to be done. When they tell us we're going to have a snowstorm, I go into survival mode. And that is, planning for a snowstorm. And start cooking. Start cooking up a storm. I've often laughed and joked about me being born in a different century. I should have been born in like the late 1800s or middle 1800s. When I was little in the 3rd grade, my teacher, Miss Barton, read the Little House on the Prairie books to us at lunchtime. And we would have to lay down on our little mats. I think she made all the mats. They were just little quilted mats. And we laid down on the floor on our little mats. We didn't have those foam rubber ones like we got now, our little yoga mats. And she would read to us. She would read the Little House on the Prairie books, the Little House in the Big Woods books. This was before there was a TV show with Michael Landon, and it was just, oh, I could just get immersed in those books. It was absolutely beautiful. And I'd close my eyes and I could transport myself to these places. And it was just, that's where I learned to love somebody reading to me. And that's why I love Audible books. I love the Audible books. And, taking a moment to just have somebody read you a chapter. I've been reading here lately because I wasn't taught any of this, the rise and fall of the Third Reich, when I traveled back and forth to Knoxville. I've just been reading up a storm, and even though I'm listening to it, it's reading to me. Because I can get immersed in it, and survival mode is a tough thing. My sister Susan is asking me if she can pray for me about something, and that's real sweet of her. But I can pray too, and having prayers from everybody, that just touches my heart. So I have to tell her she can just pick anything she wants. The main thing is we have to slow down. We have to slow down our lives so that we can receive. And maybe we slow down to where we're just thinking about the book we're reading, or we slow down and we meditate on a verse in the Bible. This is one of my favorite verses right here about faith. It's Hebrews 11:1, and 111 are my numbers. And because I was born in January the 11th. So faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. I don't hope for a lot because God gives me everything I have. God showed me that I was to be the fly lady and to help you to be calm in situations where we're stressed out. I'll never forget when September the 11th happened. We were doing some fun stuff on the website. We were having a military theme of getting rid of clutter, and Leanne had given us five or six crockpot recipes, and people were decluttering like crazy. And then the towers fell. And we had to take all the camouflage off the website. And go from being Field Marshal Fly Lady to the Fly Lady that's the fairy godmother that tucks you in at night. Because somebody had to take care of you because you were too busy taking care of the rest of the family. So I needed to show you that we didn't have to panic. We had this. And we had to take care, I had to take care of you. And that's what I want to do right now, is I want you to understand that everything's going to be okay. We're not making light of this coronavirus. We've taken our inventory of our food that we have in our house. If you don't have any food in your house, it's time for you to get some stocks, get some things stocked up. You can go out and buy a 20-pound bag of rice, and that'll last you a long time. 1 cup of rice makes about 2 cups cooked, and that's pretty much all you need. That's all little Miss Esther had in China when she got sick with the coronavirus. So she was doing the brat diet. She didn't have any bananas, but she had rice, she had water. And so we can take care of ourselves. We really can. We can't panic. We can't panic and go out and hoard all the um, all the hand sanitizer in the world. But guess what? Soap and water works. Soap and water works. And we can take care of ourselves. We can take care of our families. We can do what it takes. I love apocalyptic movies. You know, I watch every one of them, and I'm a big fan of The Walking Dead. I've binged watched the first 3 years, and now I can't wait for the next one to come on. And you see how society breaks down. Well, our society is not going to break down. We're not going to have military in the streets shooting people come out their doors. Somebody in North Korea, and last summer I read 3 books on North Korea. And one of the things they did in North Korea just this week, somebody had the coronavirus and they shot him dead. You survive this coronavirus. It's like 1/10 of 1% to 1% don't survive. Our rate of dying from flu is worse than that. Now, the coronavirus is very contagious. It's more contagious than the flu. So that's why we've got to be vigilant with washing our hands. When you come in the house, wash your hands the first thing. When you're around somebody else, wash your hands. Don't touch your face. So let's come up with ways to have fun. I've given you lots of ideas about cooking what's in your pantry and your freezer. You know, take inventory of your freezer. Do what you need to do. And one of my favorite books is, where are those books? They're right here. I don't know if you can find them anymore. But I read these books as a young homemaker. I think Justin was about 3 years old when I read these books. I didn't know this lady was a Mormon lady. But Beverly Nye's books, A Family Raised on Sunshine, Everyone's a Homemaker. I found these books on eBay. They're probably in your library. She talked about, because the Mormons are really smart about some things. They believe in having a 2-year food storage. Now, the 2-year food storage can hurt you if you get mice in your house. It can become a burden. But if you keep up with what you have, it can be a blessing because you have a 2 years food supply. And so if you lose your job or you have to move, you're good to go because you have this 2 years food supply. We have everything we need. We just have to let go and know that we're prepared. Being prepared keeps us calm. It keeps us stress-free. And that's what I want for you right now. People are panicking, and there's no sense in that. There's no sense in that. We have had 11 people to pass away in this country of 350 million people. 11 people. She has creative ways of storing things, but there's lots of creative ways to store things. And she uses a system of first in, first out. So if you got this stuff the first time, you organize everything by the shelf life. I remember Beverly Nye, lovely woman. I have both. She had 3 books, and I have all 3 of them over here on my little shelf. Makes me happy to have these books. I also have all the Firefox books. And the Foxfire books, that were written, it was school students who went and interviewed Appalachian people and put it in a book on how they do everything from slaughtering hogs to making soap. You know, you can make soap. You take ashes from your stove or your fireplace, from oak wood, and you put water in it and it turns into lye. and you take that lye and you make lye soap. Yes, the rotation of goods is important. First in, first out. So, having some resource books, homesteading books, things like that that could teach us how to do things, I don't think our society is going to fall apart. We're strong people. We've come a long way. And you never know if the internet's going to go down or you're not going to have electricity. That's why I've got the books. But I know how to can. I have a canner. I have a place where we could have a garden if we had to. It might not be easy, but by golly, we could. I have things to start seeds with. I have heirloom seeds. So, we're gonna be fine. It's not an apocalypse. It's the flu. It's the coronavirus, but it's still the flu. So folks, let's be calm. Let's take a few minutes to close our eyes and just rest your eyes and know that everything's going to be okay, because I have faith. Faith right here. Faith of a mustard seed right there. That mustard seed's for my sister Dina, and this one's for Ben. Faith of a mustard seed. We're going to be fine because we're vigilant. We do what needs to be done because we get into, let's take care of this mode. Let's take care of things. Let's take care of our family. Let's love our family. Let's do what we need to do. And we can. If you need to eat out of your freezer this week, then go ahead and save that money to get prepared. To get some staples in that are not going anywhere. Pasta, dried beans. I remember when the Y2K thing hit, I went crazy, y'all. It was just that way. I went to a supply store for restaurants and I bought 20 pounds of different kinds of beans and put them into pillowcases and put them in the freezer. I had dried fruit and that was in the freezer. I put all this stuff in the freezer and it was great until my freezer died and something melted on top of all my beans and I had to throw them out. And dried beans should have never been put in the freezer. They should have just been put in lard tins that you could get at the hardware store. At Jimmy's hardware store here in the Ace hardware store, they have got lard tins. People still use lard tins. 5 gallons and nothing can get in there. So there's great ways to be creative. To take care of your food supplies. But right now, I've got a freezer. I have a freezer downstairs. I have a freezer upstairs. We have an inventory. I know what we can cook, and we're good. We're good, and we're going to do fine. We're going to do just fine. I love you all. And take a few minutes to just close your eyes and slow down. Because when you slow down, when you stop that brain from ricocheting all over the place, when you slow down, the good Lord sends you messages. Yes. The good Lord sends you messages. And it's a wonderful way to live when you're slow enough that you can hear what the Lord is saying to you. Now, I don't think it comes in words, but I have heard words. Don't ask. I've already sent you a sign. Don't ask. I've already sent you. I need to put that picture on the wall. I've got it here somewhere. I had a picture of that little. It's a little chapel in St. Augustine, Florida, at a shrine, and yeah, I look at that chapel and I hear the voice that came to me. Don't ask. I've already sent you a sign. It took me a while to figure it out, but it was a sign from a hawk. It really was. It was a sign from a hawk. So a hawk can feed its babies and we can feed ours. We are creative women and we can do it. We can do it. We can feed our babies. We can feed ourselves. And we're going to be fine. So get some games out. Put some puzzles out. Let's start, spending more time together. Turning the news off. Yeah, that's right. Just slow down. And sometimes a little caffeine will help with the brain ricochets. Yep, a little caffeine will help you to stop the brain from going 90 miles an hour. Even though you think it's going to make you crazier, when you have ADD, a little caffeine tends to calm you right down and keep you focused. So folks, don't let anything worry you, because it's not worth it. Life is too short. Don't sweat the small stuff. What doesn't matter just doesn't matter. Laugh every day, even if it's at yourself. And love like there's no tomorrow, because one day there won't be for you. There won't be. I love you all. Thank you for letting me be your fly lady. You've made my life. You've given me what God put me here to do, because I never knew what it was until 20 years ago. I love you all. See you later.